Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube audiobook series for The Forbidden Truth, written by Abby Matthias. I am Abby Davis, and today I am introducing this next chapter, even though I'm kind of stuck with Satan at this point. If you missed the last chapter, I would highly suggest going back, because it's very important. Links in the description below, and if you are all caught up and good to go, we will continue on with Chapter 18, Atrocious Timing.
As I marched her body up the stairs, my mind raced with horrendous thoughts. There was once again no denying where she went. With only being in that teleporting hole for a few seconds, I remember the color red engulfing the environment, the screaming of my protector child, and the smell of fire and burning flesh. For another time, she was in the underworld where demons and succubuses roamed freely and committed any action they desired. Yet my worries weren't involving the citizens of the Forsaken Realm. The devil himself had a hold of my concerns and clenched onto them without hesitation, while there was nothing I could do about it. So as I sat down at the kitchen table, waiting for Abby's mother to come up, another familiar gold envelope appeared in front of me with red lettering spelling my human's name. As I became baffled at the sudden sight of it, I quickly ripped it open to read its contents.
Darius Stone, it brings me sorrow to say that Satan has forcefully summoned your protector child to hell by taking advantage of her demon spirit. I firmly believe he has planned this day for a while and kept the details under lock and key so outsiders couldn't learn of his unruly actions. As to what he is doing with her is unknown. However, you don't need to fear so much. She will be safe and brought back unharmed. There will be no bodily injuries or need for medical attention, as long as you stay out of it. I'm sure you are in her body because of it being daytime, but if you have the chance to leave her human vessel, I warn you to not interfere with Satan's interaction with Abby. Be patient and wait for her to come back. As much as it will torment you, everything will work better if you stay out of this. I wish there was more I can do at the moment, but sadly I am along with you on this journey. Just another being having to reluctantly go along with the devil's plans. I'm truly sorry, Darius, but please take this letter seriously and heed the warning. Once again, dispose of this letter so Satan doesn't find out about it. Sincerely, Anonymous Citizen of Hell.
Again, I received a letter from an unknown stranger trying to guide me on what to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm somewhat grateful that these warnings are being told to me. However, I don't know how much I can trust them. The first time the letter came around, I followed its instructions and ended up surviving an encounter with Satan unscathed. But with this situation, how can I trust the darkest evil I know won't hurt this innocent human? What if they were misleading me to allow Satan's true plans to commence? Regardless of what I was thinking and feeling, Abby's mom started making her way upstairs. So before she made it all the way to the second floor, I quickly folded the paper and shoved it into the pocket of my shorts.
Sorry, sweetheart. I figured I should do laundry while I was down there. Kill two birds with one stone, you know?
Of course, Mom. I get it. I can make myself something to eat so you can continue to do housework if you want. I'm more than capable to do so.
I said, trying to sound appreciative instead of how I was truly feeling.
Oh, don't be silly. You cook your lunches all the time. I think I can make yours for today. How about some homemade mac and cheese with breadsticks? Sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
After that, her mom got out all the ingredients she needed and began to cook. I sat in silence for a bit, reflecting once more on my human interacting with Satan. At this point, Abby and I both shared the same amount of feeling about him. He was always intruding on our business and ruining our lives. Every instance of him patronizing us just heightens my anger level. I wanted to free Abby from this torturous lifestyle as it kept interfering with her life and sanity. I want to hold her close to me and shield her from every evil that comes our way. I long for the day I can tell her the devil is off her backs and we are free from his wrath. Yet as I was dwelling within my thoughts, I realized how extreme my emotions were and how drastically different they felt. It was like I was having an emotional overload. To compare it to something physical, it felt as if a volcano of feelings was about to erupt. My body heated while every muscle tensed. Yet before I could do anything, Abby's mom broke the silence.
What are you thinking about, sweetheart?
She asked.
You seem pretty heated about something. Is it about school?
No, it's not. It was for a little while, but I'm thinking about something else now.
Well, would you like to talk about it?
At the question, I paused for a bit to contemplate. It was already hard enough for me to share my thoughts and feelings with my protected child. However, this could be an opportunity to talk to another adult who could possibly understand these weird emotions. Plus, it wasn't like she knew me personally. She would think her daughter is talking to her about the particular subject. Taking advantage of the situation, I thought of my words, let out a sigh, and started the conversation.
Do you love Benjamin differently than me?
I asked, referencing her brother. Abby's mom turned her head sideways for a moment as she was stirring the boiling pasta, yet she couldn't keep it there for too long as she had to keep her focus on cooking.
What do you mean? I love you both equally.
I know that.
I stated.
I guess my real question is if you could love a son differently than a daughter. Is there different kinds of love when it comes to being a parent?
I mean, personally, I would say so. But don't get that mixed up with the amount of love I feel towards you and your siblings. Both your father and I love each one of you just the same.
But what's the difference between having love for a son and having love for a daughter? I guess that's the part I don't really understand.
After I asked, she raised a finger to me to pause the conversation briefly. With a strainer in the sink and 2 pot holders in her hands, she grabbed the boiling pot of noodles and began to drain the water from them. Once the pot was set down again, she continued on with the topic.
The difference is in who you are. Every child is precious to their parents. However, we just have built-in genetics that make us feel love differently towards boys and girls. It also doesn't help that there are stereotypical opinions that influence society and how we are supposed to treat each gender. It is said that boys are meant to be tough, emotionless, and intelligent, while the females are supposed to be naive, gentle, and emotional. But overall, that doesn't matter, because everyone is unique in their own way. Yet, to get back to your main question, a parent's love can differ between a son and a daughter.
I stayed silent and reflected on her words while she started to melt the butter in the big pot she used to cook the pasta in. Yet that didn't stop her from continuing the conversation shortly after.
What brought this branch of conversation to light?
I was just reflecting back on a conversation I heard at Thanksgiving with Damien's family.
I said, trying to lie about what was truly going on.
There was talk about this topic back then, and I didn't think twice about it. However, it recently came about as I was thinking about how strong of a relationship Dad and I have, and how it differs with Benjamin.
Well, if you're talking like that, then the answer is simple. A father and daughter connection is an unbreakable bond. Fathers just react differently to daughters. Ever since your father held you and your sister for the first time, he has wanted to be your rock and armor. It's like he wants to be your big warrior. It hurts him to see you too sad and hurt. He wants to be there for your happiness. He loves you with all his heart, and there is nothing your dad wouldn't do for you. And that's not just the way your dad feels. All dads feel like that. It's just something that happens to all good dads. They feel a bond or connection that makes them go crazy to protect their daughters.
Thanks, Mom.
I said with a fake smile.
That really does clear my mind.
Her mom smiled at me once more and turned away to grab the cheese from the fridge. After the heartfelt talk, I truly began to understand the emotions I was feeling and why I was acting the way I was. She hit the nail right on the head, and I was left speechless. My body was somewhat shook as it absorbed the new information. However, it did put things into perspective now. This conversation was what I needed in order to comprehend that fatherly love that I had for Abby. It was instinctive, just like it was to be a parent. Yet it was increased because of me never having a baby girl myself. So as I concluded my thoughts, I took in a deep breath with relief of learning something in this horrible situation I was in. Although I may have looked like I was relaxing, I was far from it. Abby was still in hell, and I wanted time to tick faster. Looking at the time now, it was 1:25 p.m. Only about 15 minutes has passed since Abby was teleported to hell. I haven't heard anything from her, and I was wishing I did. Even if it was a quick response, it would have been better than nothing. Yet I was still clueless as to what Satan wanted while I was waiting for her mom to finish making lunch, which was shortly after our conversation. The breadsticks were the last to be placed on plates, and we were finally able to eat. As lunch went on, more small talk was commenced between us. A few stories were shared, and even a couple of laughing moments filled the air. However, nothing could tame my mind from worrying about my protector child. I tried hard to keep my mind off of it. I even helped her mom clean up and clean dishes afterwards. Regardless of my efforts, it wasn't until I was finishing up drying the newly cleaned dishes where I heard a loud crash from Abby's room. Turning to the clock, it was 1:49, and I was desperate to ensure my human was okay. So as I quickly finished the rest of the drying, I sped walked down the stairs and into the room where I saw her dressed in a luxurious red dress almost fit for a queen. My mouth immediately dropped as she was panically breathing and on the brink of tears.